This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so at present, right, so we are understanding how the project starts and where exactly we are going to work. Okay, so any client, right, so how they start the project, right, so where exactly we join and work, so those things we are trying to understand. Okay, so our client is Apple, right? Apple is one of the company, and we are assuming, so let's say Sneha and team who is responsible to get the CRM application for Apple company. So this team, they identified Salesforce as one of the option for the CRM, right? The first thing what they can do, they can register for free, 30 days free trial, and understand how it works. And after that, really if they like it, they'll pay and continue with the Salesforce. Yeah. So since so as a developer, as a admin, right? So we don't want to register for the 30 days free trial, right? So whatever we practice, we don't want to lose. So for us, anyone who want to start with Salesforce platform, so we need to go to a website called developer.salesforce.com. Okay, this is the link. So we need to go to this website, click on browse trials, little bit scroll down and sign up for the Salesforce Developer Edition. So all of you, you need to click here. You need to sign up. Okay. So just first name, last name. So valid email address. You can choose all other details. And the main thing, the username. It should be something at the rate something.com. Okay. So once you sign up, it might take few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes also. Okay. So once you sign up, you get the email like this. Okay. So we need to click on verify account, and we need to keep some secret questions, and also we can set the password and login. Okay, so just click on this. Okay, so reset password, click on that, and I'm giving the password, and some security question. Click on change password. So this is the way, right? So once you do that, okay, if you see you logged in, this is how we see. Okay, now, so first time we logged in, so as a package we get the server space, inbuilt database, inbuilt UI, inbuilt business logic, everything, right? So exactly in which server of the Salesforce we got the space. To understand, go to company information, click on company information. So here we have something like instance. Okay, we got the space in this. Okay, to identify this server, so we have a website called trust.salesforce.com. Okay, so you can go to this website. So click on sales and service and search for this. And if you see, this is the instance. It's a big, huge server. Okay, so not only Apple company, so many other companies, they have the space here in this server, right? So they share the server, whatever the power and everything, and software installed in that server. Everything will be same for all the clients, whoever is having space in this server. But how Salesforce uniquely display only the data corresponding to that company? So if you see this company information, So there is one thing called Salesforce organization ID. This is the unique ID. So with that, okay, so when we log into this account, to this account, whatever the data we are storing, right, only that data they'll show. Okay, they identify each and every company using this unique Salesforce organization ID. Okay, so and also if you see, we can also see how much space we got. Okay, if you see data space, so if you click here, data storage, 5 MB of the space we got. Right, Salesforce they allocated 5 MB space from their server, right? And for storing the files, they allocated 20 MB. Okay, but if you see, this is very, very small. 5 MB real company, they cannot run the business with 5 MB space, right? Because it is a free account. Okay, just for testing, that much space is sufficient. They don't want to misuse this account, right? So one of the limitation with the developer edition when we register, so we get only 5 MB space. Okay, but when you really sign up, so that time based on the edition, they allocate by default 10 GB. You can also increase that 50 GB, 100 GB based on the client requirement. Okay, so just understand, and also, so there is something called licenses. If you little bit go back, so user licenses. So if you see Salesforce license, there are two licenses. Out of that, one is consumed, right? So we register as Sneha. So one of the primary user. We have the chance to create one more user with the Salesforce license. Okay, and also based on this license, what the user can access will vary. So one of the example, out of all these licenses, Salesforce license is powerful. Okay, so that license people, they can access all the, as soon as based on the edition, right? Based on the company, they're using Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or everything. So based on that, these license users, they can access all the standard applications. So marketing, service, sales, all those standard applications, all the standard objects, right? Objects means nothing but table. So by default as a standard, right? So which we did not configure. So once we sign up as a standard, whatever the applications, whatever the objects, whatever the fields Salesforce they are offering, those we call as standard, right? You hear like this standard object, custom object. Okay, custom object means which is not provided by Salesforce, which we created, right? Here object is nothing but a database table. Okay, so just to understand. Okay, so Sneha is one of the user from Apple company registered, and also the primary user, whoever registered, that user is the super admin. I mean, like by default, that user is assigned to admin. Okay, so that user has capability to create the other users and to do any configuration or development. Okay, so let's say Sneha want to provide access to the team members, other team members of the Apple company, right? So what is the process? So already, right, we logged in as Sneha, and also before we create, right? So let's say uh, today after completing the work, she can log out, right? Again, tomorrow, how to log into Salesforce? Okay, so when we register for the developer edition, so again, once you log out and again, if you want to log in, to log into Salesforce, One of the generic URL is login.salesforce.com. Okay, this is the website we visit, and here we enter the username and password and login. Okay, that's what we do. Okay, so here this is the username, the password. I'm entering the password, login. So this is the way. Okay, so it is also asking, do you want to set the mobile number? We can also set the mobile number. Okay, but I don't want to do that. So I don't want to register my phone. Okay, now again we logged in. Okay, either you can log in by going to login.salesforce.com. Otherwise, so when we sign up, right? So unique domain name will be generated. So really, if you want to see that, once you are in the setup area, if you see here if you see setup, that means you are in the setup area. So somehow if you are not seeing this one, so what you need to do, you need to click on this gear icon, click on setup. Okay, in case if you are not seeing the setup, so we are in the setup. So here just search for domain. So click on my domain. Okay, so if you see here, this is the domain name, right? That means to log in. Okay, going forward, if you want to, so maybe let me open incognito. You can also visit this website. Either you can give the unique domain specific to that company, or can give login.salesforce.com and login. Okay, so what is the difference? So this is very generic. All companies same URL, username, password, they enter and login, so that it will log into the right account. Okay, so branding, right? Example, Apple company. If the Apple company employee, they open this URL. If you see what is the logo they are seeing, Salesforce logo, right? But Apple company, they want to maintain their branding. They want their employees to see their logo instead of Salesforce logo, Apple logo, right? So those things are possible, right? So maybe they ask all employees to bookmark this, right? So that when they visit here, there is a chance to replace this, right? Instead of this image, some other image can be displayed. Okay, so if you see this my domain, right? So here you have options. So click on edit. So this is the domain URL anyway. So we will have the options to click on edit. So here you have option to choose the logo, right? Background color. So let's say Apple logo. One of the logo we can download and try to use, right? So I mean, just anything you can log in, right? I mean, you can download. Let's say simply I'm going to open this one. Okay, somehow I'm not able to save this. save. Yes, okay. I think it's like some kind of read only. Okay, so let me try to save this one. So I am not able to save. Okay, simply I took the screenshot. Okay, so now choose the. I don't know. Nothing is working. Okay, this needs some basic. Okay, I'll do one thing. Okay, I'm just we can download some logo. Okay, I'm keeping here. Okay, anyway, I think I need to identify the right file. Okay, so this is the place where we can upload the logo. So that way, when we open this URL, so that logo, that branding can be maintained. That's the difference. Otherwise, on day to day, mostly if you want to log in, right, all you need to do, so you need to go to login.salesforce.com. Okay, this is like a production, right? Production means the live application where the all end users they use. Okay, yeah, just understand that one. Okay, anyway, now already we logged in, and so we have one user Sneha, and she want to create the users for other colleagues. Okay, the process is we should be in the setup area. Okay, if you are not in the setup area, gear icon, click on gear icon, click on setup. Okay, so once you are in the setup area, search for users. Okay, so once you search for users, if you see users, click on users. Now if you see, we registered as Sneha, right? We are seeing the Sneha user. Okay, along with the Sneha user, we are also seeing the other users. If you see, we did not create those. Okay, in general, by default, even when you register for the developer edition account, by default you will see those users. Okay, so integration user, security user, right, expert, charter, So all these are the some of the standard users generated by Salesforce. Okay, we call these users as automated users or system users. Okay, so these are not for a specific person, right? So maybe going forward for integration, this user can be used something like security related. We will discuss more about that. Okay, but for now, you have to understand that those are generated by Salesforce. Okay, now let's create one more user. So click on new user. So let's say, so Durga is one of the person in the Apple company, right? One of the colleague first Neha. Okay, so we can create that user, right? So B107.com. Okay, I'm giving like that. Okay, but email should be proper email. I'm giving my email. Okay, maybe there can be many users with the same email address. Okay, that is possible. Okay, so but username should be different. Okay, I have selected different username. So now license, right? Salesforce license I'm choosing. So what is the difference? So let's say if we choose Salesforce platform, what is the difference? Salesforce platform license users, even though in this org there is a sales application, service application, these license users, they cannot see any standard application, they cannot access most of the standard objects, the campaigns, leads, whatever the most of the standard objects we have, they cannot access. Okay, like that, the limitations are there. Okay, so anyway, we have one more Salesforce license I'm choosing and click on save, right? So profile, and also while creating the user, so profile is required. So profile is nothing but it holds the set of permissions. Okay, so when we create multiple users in the organization, there can be hundreds of users. We group some of the users under, let's say for 30 users, they should have the same permissions. So what we'll do, we'll create one profile and add those permissions to that profile. For all those 30 users, we apply that profile. Okay, so like that. Okay, all these are the standard profiles. I'm choosing system administrator. Yes, highest permissions for this profile. Okay, so I'm selecting the same and click on save. Okay, so again this person will get email. Okay, again I give my email address, so one more email will come. Okay, so now if you see, so only while registering for the first time, that time you see you get the email something late, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or 5 minutes like that. But once we have the org created, so if you are creating the other users, you'll get that reset password email very quickly. Okay, so click on verify account. So reset password. This user also setting the password. Giving like this. Okay, now in the same browser, right? So if you log in as other user for the same Salesforce account, the previous user session will be ended, right? It will override that session with the newly logged in user. So now onwards, if you open anything, you see it opens with Durga. Okay, but if you open incognito, right? If you open incognito mode, say again that maintain a different session. You can log in with a different user into the same Salesforce account. Or you can also log in into a different browser with a different user. In case if you want to log in with multiple users and test, so we have to follow like that. Okay. So yeah, that's about that. So now if you see, if you go to setup, so if you go to users, right, click on users. So we have Sneha, we have Durga, right? So if you open this user Durga, so if you scroll down, right, if you see created by who created Sneha, who modified, right? So because Sneha created this user, right? So this person also admin, right? You can also modify something and say, now if you see modified by who modified Durga, who created Sneha, right? So like that, there are some audit fields, okay, even for user and going forward for most of the records. You see created by, modified by, which are read only, which are automatically captured by Salesforce, which we cannot change, right? So I want to change this instead of Sneha to some other user, we cannot do that, right? It maintains the truth, who is doing what, that is maintained, okay? So, and also, right, we can also track. So there is something called a login history, right? Where they are trying to log in, all those things can be captured, right? So let's say if you provide your Salesforce account username and password to someone, okay, there is a chance to track, right? Let's say you are in one place and so you are giving your username and password. Um, so when they log in from some other place, that also it capture here. Okay, so just understand all these things. So for today, I think this is sufficient. Okay, so tomorrow we'll proceed with we explore about all the standard applications, so marketing and sales and the service, and after that we discuss so how exactly we work for those requirements. Okay, so if you see here, they identified 100 requirements, right? So how the project starts. So maybe if you are from non-technical background, so we use some tools in the projects, right? So people, right? Let's say some of you, if you did not work for IT or if you don't have experience, the question is where these requirements will be saved. Will they save in Excel or any other place? There are some tools. They capture all these requirements in the tool and also they track. They can also assign the requirement to a particular developer. All those things are there. I'll also show those tools, some of the famous tools in most of the projects what they use, and we proceed. Okay. So any quick questions before ending today?
Sinu, we need to pay today or we need to pay tomorrow, Sinu?
Yeah, you can pay by Monday. Okay. So tomorrow also demo. Okay. So from next Monday, we'll start with the regular sessions. Before to that, you can pay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, the recordings you can see here. Okay. Daily, I'll update the recordings here. You can watch. Okay. Yeah. So any other quick questions? Okay. We'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow also same meeting link. Okay. Thank you.